Hi, it's Melanie from the Decube team, and I'm here to walk you through today on our product and how easy it is to get started on our platform. Head over to the website decube.io, click on the Get Started button here, and it'll bring you to a short form to fill in to sign up. Once that's done, you'll get an email for verification. After you have verified your email, you can then sign in. For your first time, we'll direct you to a landing page where you can select a data source. So here's what our supported data sources are currently. And for the others, we are working on it real soon in our roadmap. It's very simple, and it takes a few steps to connect to a database or warehouse. So I'm going to show you Google BigQuery. There's a few prerequisites you will need to set up on your end. For more details on the permissions and how to set up for each data source, we have prepared a documentation for each integration. You can click on the How to Connect here, and it will bring you to all the prerequisites that you will need to set up. And for BigQuery's example, you will need to create a service account. So once you successfully connected to a data source, we will bring you straight to the dashboard. For our dashboard, it will be a little bit empty at first when you first connect to Decube, and that's fine because we take about 3 to 5 days to learn about your data and raise the first incident. So what you need to do first is to configure your tables to enable monitoring. So let's head over to the catalog page. So the catalog is an amazing repository. Here we will load for you all the data sets that we have within your data source. You can filter by all tables and columns and dashboards if you connect a Tableau or a Power BI or similar kind of dashboard software in the future. We've also built in incident alerts within the catalog so that you can see any assets that may have an open incident that may be investigated. Back to how to configure tables, there's a couple ways that we can configure tables for Decube, but I'm going to show you our feature called the bulk table configuration right here. So you can head here and go ahead and select an active data source. Once you selected that, it will load all the tables within this data source. There's a few settings you will need to configure for each table. You can select a frequency here so you will know how often to run the scans. Next, you'll need to select a metric time here. This is for us to know which column that we will need to run efficient scans in our database. This is a unique feature that ensure that there is no additional load on your database. So because we will optimize our queries to run according to the metric time column that we selected. There's also a bulk select option for this metric time. So you can go ahead and select metric time columns that will be applicable for each table. And this will help you to configure the metric time column across your database. You can also sort by priority. So for example, if a table has both created at and updated at, if created at has a higher priority than updated at, the table with both metric time columns will have created at selected as its metric time column. A tip over here for metric time selection is that you should choose the metric time that is based on what you use for your incremental updates or inserts within the table. So it's either a created at for a frequently inserted table or updated at for a frequently updated table. This informs our scanner to check the right column for the frequency that you have selected. So after you selected a metric time, you can go ahead and enable monitoring. Switching this enabling this monitoring here will monitor your table for 3 things: volume, freshness, and schema drift. Here you'll be also able to enable notifications. Here we give you the control to choose which critical tables you want to be notified about, because it's possible that you want to monitor a table but not be disturbed by possibly hundreds of notifications across your data source. Of course, remember to save changes after you've done this so that we can start to run the incident scanner. So let's head over to the data quality page and see here's where we have all the incidents that were raised. Here are the 4 tests that we have: volume, freshness, schema drift, and field health. So I'm going to head over to one of the incidents here, and if you click on it, so here's a freshness incident, there's some details on this incident that is shown. So over here for this table, it was not updated 9 hours ago. So here's a simplified description of what had happened. And of course, we have the incident time and the incident date that it happened. And here's a timeline of the similar incidents that have happened on this table. Here's something handy to manage the status of your incidents. So you can go ahead and choose to close or mute an incident. So let's say in a situation, if there's any sort of migration or updates happening on your database level, you may choose to update it to that is muted for a day or is it muted for a month, for this example. So there's another type of incident I would like to show you. So this is a field health type incident that is raised from a custom SQL test that failed 5 days ago. We've here, for field health tests, we have a unique feature here that we've worked on to provide a debug code for your engineers so that your engineers can copy this code over here, they can replicate it in their environment or their SQL editor. And this is great for the engineers because they can exactly know where the problem is. They can possibly refactor this code or to take an action that they can fix this action. They can also go ahead and close this incident so that it wouldn't re-trigger again. But let's say if there's a similar incident that's happened, we will let them know. So I can also show you on this page how to add a new monitor. Over here, we can go over to the select a data source and go over to select a table, search and select for a table. You can add a preset monitor here. Go ahead and choose a column that you want to monitor and set up what tests you would like to run on this monitor. Go ahead and enable monitoring right here, and that's how you add a new monitor. You can also add a custom SQL monitor, for example, and here we'll have let you to actually input your custom query right here, so you can write very specific tests for your business. And if you like more information on how to set up the custom monitor, can go over here and it will bring you straight to a documentation where you send you some examples of how to set up a custom monitor. Let's head back to the catalog page because there's still a few things I would like to show you. We've designed a catalog to be a great place for your business teams to navigate to. So let's have a look within each asset itself. So on the details page, you'll be able to see some information on the table overview, which was collected by our profiler, and also see the incidents for each individual table right here. So if you see here on this incidents page, incidents tab, you actually see that there's 2 incidents right here that open. And right here, you'll be able to see the lineage for this. You'll be able to see the upstream data assets and the downstream data assets. So it's even helpful for the business team that may navigate here to see what downstream assets could have been impacted by this incident alert. Here is also another way to add the monitors on this table itself. And it's also useful for you to be able to toggle on and off the monitor notification for any particular table asset that you wish to have more granular control on. So let's head over to the data recon page. And this is where, this module is where you'll be able to check data diffs between 2 data sets within your data sources. The recon module was actually built in order to counter missing data between staging and production environment. You can also use the recon module to compare between data for 2 different data sets. Having said that, there needs of course to be a common key or a primary key. So go ahead and add a new recon and select a data source. You'll be able to select your tables right here. And of course, select the primary keys. Select the date time fields. And input the configuration on how long you want our scanner to look back into. And then go ahead, map some additional fields if you like. And go ahead and run a recon. So I'm going to show you a recon that's already been run over here. So we'll show you a summary of the matching rows and also show you in more detail which other rows that have data diffs. One tip I'd like to share over here is that our recon module is actually amazingly fast. However, your keys need to be indexed properly. The last bit I'd like to show you is actually the My Account page. So this is where you'll be able to enable disabled data sources or modify the connections. But most importantly, I'd like to show you how to configure the alerts. To enable your alerts, you have to input an email, and also you'll be able to authorize your Slack channel to be connected here, and also select the Slack channel that you would like to send the alerts to. So go ahead and include an alert for your team. And that's about it. If you need more help or if you need to understand about more about each feature, go ahead and go to our documentation over at docs.decube.io. And this will bring you through all the features currently that are available on our platform, and also to understand how to connect to each data source. Here's also a public roadmap that I'd like to show you. We have some very interesting things in the pipeline, some new features such as the business glossary, and also some new connections that we can look forward to. So do follow us for updates on our LinkedIn page. If you got any questions or feedback for us, of course, you can always drop us an email at hello@decube.io. Thanks for tuning in, and see you later.